no one really believes me when I say this, but I wrote that about a fruit fly.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. No, you didn't.
Yeah, so there was a...
Were you in love with a fruit fly? Like, I have questions.
No.
Stevie Flowers, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
The Dammit Danii podcast.
Yes.
We are going to start the episode off. I mean, we did start it, but let's do a shot.
Okay, great idea.
I really had to twist your arm. Cheers. Thank you for being a guest.
Thanks for having me. What was it? Peach? Orange?
Orange Jameson.
Orange Jameson. Whew. That was good. Tastes like the peel.
It does.
It's really zesty.
It's really good, actually. Like,
yeah, it's not like Svedka sweet. It's like they really infused it. They took their time with that one.
It's a good infusion, a little bit of a slight burn, but
yeah, that's the Jamie.
It wasn't too like I don't feel like I'm like gonna vom afterwards. Like some shots, I'm like, mm-mm.
You know what's absolutely foul?
I would love to know.
Dark rum. I hate. Like just Captain Morgan. White rum's a whole other disgusting story, but
yeah, that's a whole other category.
But yeah, I hate dark rum.
Every
It's
time
like the bane of my existence.
it is like anytime I'm like I'm gonna have a Captain and Coke night, it never ends well.
See, I usually order light.
Okay.
It's like Sprite and vodka usually, just to keep it simple, make it easy on the bartenders. And then someone will hand me their cranberry or, no, I'm sorry, they'll hand me like a Captain and Coke or something dark, and they're like, finish this. See you later.
I've never made a good decision.
If I mix,
ooh,
just tuck me into bed.
So you can't do like the dark and light. You're just
That's
like,
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to stick to one, and it's usually like someone doesn't finish their drink and they've been drinking something different the whole night, and I'm like, yeah,
you go for it, and
bad.
it's not a good decision.
No.
I feel like I'm more of like a beers and like shots kind of person. That's where I vibe the most. If I do liquor all night, like it usually doesn't end well. I usually don't make a good decision. Like things happen, they're just not.
Yeah. It's more like an economic choice, I feel like. Like if I'm wanted to, it depends the atmosphere. Like if I'm going to go to Jimmy D's, which I hope I didn't, but if I do.
I don't know what Jimmy D's is.
Good. It's
okay.
It's just this really like bare bones, like watering hole of a bar in the South Side. Like I'm surprised they even have bathrooms. Like it's just.
I don't know how I feel about this.
It's just like these bars and then just open space. Like I don't know if they have a single chair in there.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like it's a watering hole.
Okay.
And they have bad DJs. I'm never like if it becomes a venue, I'm never getting a show there. But
you're just like absolutely not.
No, I just mean after they see me shitting on them, I don't think.
They're gonna be like
back again.
They're gonna be like no to Stevie. No, not happening.
But what was the point? Oh, when I go to a bar like that, that's when I get something like with liquor in it, because I'm like they're just gonna like pour something quick and hand it to me.
True.
But the beer's always going to be the same, but when they'll just do like some 50-50 thing and then hand it at you. So I'm like, okay, now I don't have to come back here as often. But if I'm like out at a brewery or something, obviously I'm going to like try their beer.
Right, you got to test the things, taste the different IPAs, hazies, whatever the
I
hell
love
else
all
there
that.
is. I do too.
Whatever the hell.
I love making fun of it, but like I also like love it so much.
Yeah, it's like self-deprecating.
It is. It is. And I'm like sniffing it. I'm like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I love a hazy, like ones that look like orange.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Favorite, like the citrusy ones, which is obviously why I have Jameson Orange, because I like a citrus moment. Yeah.
Yeah, the pumpkin beer got me this year.
Oh, don't even get me started. It's my favorite. I am the most basic girl in the world. I love the pumpkin lattes. I love the beers.
It's good flavor. I mean, I'm glad it doesn't get like, it has its moment to shine.
It does.
You know what I mean? It's because it's a month or whatever.
When August hits and I know it's about time, like I'm like, this is my moment. I am thriving.
Yeah. That's funny.
So we had to like stop talking because when you got here, because I didn't want to talk too much.
Yeah.
So now we can
went off.
We can talk about all the things.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh, I feel like anytime we talked about a subject, we started getting into it. Like I think traffic was one. We're like, let's talk about traffic.
Yeah.
There can't possibly be something. And I think there was.
That I like traffic.
Yeah, that you love traffic, which I thought, It was the YouTube videos.
Yes.
You said that you watch YouTube videos and learn different things.
I don't. Okay, let me clarify. I don't watch
Okay,
them
sorry.
while I'm driving.
I guess you have to watch the
Yeah,
road. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I don't watch them while I'm
Okay.
driving. But
Clarification.
I will put them on, and then it's just all kinds of stuff, whatever YouTube decides for me to know. But it'll be the most obscure things that we were talking about, compressors and like
Right.
nerdy music shit. That's half of it.
Okay.
Or like workout routines, like trying to learn something new there. Or we were talking about not eating meat, like just anything, just knowledgeable and like self-help, health, that kind of stuff is super
Health and
important
wellness.
to me. Yeah, that and like music production.
Okay.
I wish I had more hobbies. Like shit, I need to get out more because I've just been like, this is all I care about. So I just like
Well, it's a good thing,
shaved
though.
everything off, and I'm like, I'm not good at anything.
I have no other hobbies.
Glad
no
I'm
other
okay at this
interests.
because fuck.
But I feel like it's a good thing though, because like this is your
It needs it.
passion, right? Like
Yeah, it
this
needs
is,
that attention for sure.
you got to give it all of your energy and give it,
Yeah.
you want to learn more and have knowledge about it.
Yeah, I definitely like value that in and of itself.
So where did you start out with music?
I always tell people it started with Guitar Hero 2 for sure.
Okay.
Just kind of realizing, like, oh my God, you actually like you move your body and then the music happens. Like
Okay.
obviously it's a video game, but like putting two and two together, like you actually like put physical effort into it, and like that's how it's made. And then I wanted to join band. I always wanted to do the drums, but my mom figured that was too loud, so she let me do the trumpet. Like the trumpet's quieter.
I don't think it's quieter.
Doesn't add up.
It
but
may
that's-
be worse. Like I feel like I'd rather hear drums than a trumpet.
Yeah, I feel like drums you can kind of drown out
Yeah.
more, but that's okay.
So you started with the
I
trumpet.
forgive you, Mom.
We
I like
forgive
the
Mom.
trumpet anyway. But no, and then I got a guitar in like 5th and 6th grade. Had a year of lessons for that, and then I just kind of gave it up for a while. I don't know what I was doing, skateboarding or playing video games, just
Being a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as I should.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back to the guitar in high school a little bit, and then what really changed it was we had a class in high school, and shout out to any cool schools with music programs and good music teachers, because I wouldn't have gave a shit like I did without that class.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just brought me closer to the process, like understanding how the beat, all the shit worked, and then I was like, all I need is the software. I have a laptop, and then got an illegal version of it for a little bit, and
As we do sometimes.
yeah,
That's cool.
just to play around.
Yeah.
And then the rest was history. I was like, this is all I want to do, and I'm surprised that's actually still the case. Like,
I mean, yeah.
I was like believing in it wholeheartedly, but then as time went on, I was like, is this gonna keep going? And then I was like, yeah, it is, like, which is awesome.
I mean, you're very talented.
Thank you.
Your music, like, I took like today and yesterday, I was like really listening to it. I am now a fan.
Appreciate
I
it.
absolutely love it. Your vibe is so like chill, but it's kind of got like an indie, like kind of nostalgic pop vibe that I really like too. Like, which is why I chose the Tweety sweatshirt. But
There you
I
go.
just felt like it was that very much that vibe. Like,
Yeah,
it was so chill.
appreciate it. Yeah, I try to like, I don't know. There's just like what I thought was really funny. I was on another podcast, the Food Life
Okay.
podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No, I
They're,
haven't.
they're great people, but I
Look it
think he described my music as like Mac Miller meets Mac DeMarco, and I really like that. I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I was gonna say I'm not gonna say that about myself, but here I am doing that.
Here we are.
but I
the Jameson.
yeah, the one shot. But I really appreciated that because I just like I think both of those artists are willing to kind of push the boundaries in their own respect, and then they're definitely two influences. So I'm just like, without trying, I just internalized them. So that's cool to hear that it's like reflecting.
I think besides the vibe of your music, it's the lyrics of your music
Really?
too. Like I was really listening to your new one, In Circles. I love. I think that's probably my favorite single that
Me
you've
too.
put out.
Me
It's
too.
so good. But like just like when you say like about to just say fuck it all, and like you listen to the context of the song, like it's just so
Yeah.
relatable, and like your lyrics are very like well thought out.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's what I think.
Sure, I feel like the better, like I'll think them into oblivion. So the ones that you do hear were the ones that I like didn't think out.
So is it just natural? It's just what you felt when you were recording?
Yeah, mostly like so that little story about that song is it came out, or I'm sorry, it got written like 4 or 5 years ago when I was in college.
Okay.
And at the time I was selling beats and I wasn't really sure about how I was going to go about music. I just knew I was like into the production side, but I was always like writing. I was super into English class in high school. So that was always in the back of my mind too. And I had this beat that I really liked and I ended up writing all those lyrics on top of that beat.
Okay.
But before I like went to record it or anything or really even had like faith that it was going to be good, I sold that beat to somebody else. And then I've literally been kind of just coming back to those lyrics. Like I've had multiple projects in the last couple of years where I was like trying to sing that on top of it. And I was like, this ain't the one. You know what I mean? Cause I really like, I've been singing that running in circles, falling into walls. Like those 2 lines I've been singing for literally like 4 years. Just they keep coming around. I was like, if they can't get out of my head, like I'm sure it'll get stuck in other people's.
It's stuck in my head. And that beat that you picked for the song too, like I think in combination is just what gets stuck. Like I listened to it like 6 times tonight. Yeah. Because like I can't get enough of it. And I just love the flow of like the lyrics to the beat. Like it just flows so well together.
Thanks. Yeah, that's definitely the one I'm most proud of because it's like I said, the lyrics were good enough to like hold on to. And I kind of glorified like the quick in the flow kind of creation, just like a fever dream. You're like, what happened? And then you just have something that you're actually like impress yourself with. And that was one of those because like I said, the lyrics were already there. I started playing that guitar part and stuff and then just wrote onto it. And the rest was like just kind of explained itself to me. And then I just kept going. So it was cool to like have the whole song written in a night. And then I was like, put it on the back burner and came back to it and finished it and did all the crazy polishing. But
I feel like you put a bow on it, like you waited on it, like it just worked out well. Like I feel like it was kind of almost meant to be in a way, like you kind of brought both of those parts together and it's perfect. And what I like too is like each of your singles like on Spotify I feel like is a little bit of a different style. It's a little bit of like a different glimpse like into like your personality. I really like Satellite Baby too. I think that's probably my second favorite.
Yeah, and like that one, you were talking about the lyrics. That one, it's funny. No one really believes me when I say this, but I wrote that about a fruit fly.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. No, you didn't.
Yeah, so there was a...
Were you in love with a fruit fly? Like, I have questions.
No. It was just the one line. Okay. And then the rest just like was just kept going. But long story short, had a roommate. He didn't do the dishes. God bless him. I hope he does the dishes nowadays. But
let's hope.
Yeah. the same dishes are there to this day.
To this day.
But no, so I was like in the kitchen with my computer, and then a friggin' fruit fly like flew across the screen as I was listening to the beat, and then I just said, "You fly all around my head," and then I just took that flow and then just kept writing. Like a lot of people will do like like just mumble something, and some people that's their final take. But like other people go back and then they're like, "It kind of sounds like I said this word. What if I was talking?" You know what I mean? They piece together like just out of the mouth noises. So that's what I did with that, and then it just kind of like became more of a narrative around like
a fruit fly,
this girl, and back and forth, and whatever else I said in there. I don't remember. But.
Well, I written down in my notes, I was like, did an ex wrong you? Like, is there like a story behind? Like, I thought there was like a really juicy story behind this. Maybe I was like, all right, I'm ready.
I mean, I try not to like explain myself too much because like if you can get depth out of it, you should, and I don't want to like take that away from your listening experience.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like each line by line, I don't necessarily focus on like a story as much as I think of like each line carrying the same like emotional impact as the rest of the song, and like having it be cohesive and just the way each line makes you feel. Because you know how there's these songs you can't even understand what they're saying, but then those 1 or 2 lines peek out and they like talk about something cool, or they use a cool word, like they're talking about like VCR players or like something nostalgic, or you know what I mean? They make a cultural reference, and that's the only part you hear, and that's just
that out.
That's why you like the song, is because they talk about fucking whatever, like that kind of thing. Just try and hit those like emotional centers like on every line.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I feel like I'm more of like a lyric person. Like I feel like I'm listening to somebody's lyrics more than I'm listening probably to the beat of the song.
Really?
I'm picking more of that out. and everybody interprets like, and oh my god, interprets.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I'm
that
murdering
interprets.
that. Yes. Like it's the Jameson.
Yeah.
The words differently. So like I feel like you don't want to take that away from someone for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like I read a lot into somebody's lyrics.
Yeah. I've been seeing this trend, especially with TikTok, especially, is because, a lot of the songs you find on TikTok are like people just doing like acoustic covers. It's a lot of acoustic guitar in their bedroom. And I think what that does is puts more emphasis on their vocals and the lyrics. And I think what that's doing is allowing people to connect to songs that are genreless, basically.
Yeah.
Like I really like what the lines they're saying, and then they come out with a song and it's like produced in this whole genre that they didn't even expect it to be in. But I fell in love with the story, so it's like I'm okay with the textures you like threw it in at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it's like songwriting is prevailing.
I think it is. I love an acoustic cover. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite. Like I love like if there's a song I really like and I find that like the artist did it like an acoustic version, typically end up liking that more than the song itself.
Interesting.
I think I just like hearing the rawness almost of the like the singer's voice.
Yeah.
And not kind of having the distraction. Like you have the acoustic behind it, but it's not the full production.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. To each their own. I kind of with that too, though. Like, not to say I disagree, but yeah, it depends. Some songs I feel like they'll sing it different, or they kind of like give it a different delivery.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
That might make or break it, but
I mean, I've definitely heard covers where I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's either doesn't give the same feel or I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
like the style that was thrown on it. So I guess it's definitely like very two-sided.
Mm-hmm.
What I also liked, I watched your TikToks.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, like, within circles, like, you did do, like, you sang it, correct? And
Yeah, I
then
think that was my most recent post. It was like a cover.
there's a cover of
Acoustic
it.
version, yeah.
So I like that you kind of, like, broke it down and did that version of it, too.
Yeah, and somebody said like I like this, honestly like this better, and you shouldn't let like one comment like determine your artistic choices. But
Right.
I was like, you know what, I could see how that would allow the lyrics to really shine through, especially in the verse and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, I take a very empathetic approach to like how I'm making music. Like I wrote that whole verse. It's like super long, one verse in the middle of the song, but I just like in my mind I'm like, no one's listening to this. I don't even listen to that part.
You don't?
No, like when I listen to my own music, I'm like,
You're like, no.
I as much as I can tune in on a song and be like, I really like that one hi-hat sound or whatever they used.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also very much like a shitty, ignorant radio listener who's just like, shut up, give me the chorus. Like I want the catchy part. Like I empathize with that and I can channel that. And sometimes I'm like, my shit's really not that catchy because like, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to like fish for a compliment.
I mean, I was listening to your newest song like 6 times in a row. And again, I'm not like,
Yeah.
It's super catchy.
Yeah. I was a big Beatles fan as a kid, so I really think I internalized like the power of a chorus and repetition and shit like that.
You know, it's funny you say that. I feel like there's definitely a correlation to that in that song.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I do notice that like you have a bunch of singles. Like, are you putting an album together?
The whole album conversation.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'm open to it. I just don't necessarily have like a direction.
Okay.
And I also feel like I have a lot of great song ideas that just keep pushing my sound in a new direction. Like my laptop has a lot of different paths to go down in it. So I don't really know what I want to do. I mean, I have some good ideas for how to like segment it. But I haven't really thought those out yet, so I don't want to like speak on it. And people are like, oh, that's a great idea, and then they end up not doing it. They're like, where's that EP you were talking about 40 years ago?
Yeah, you can't like taunt that it's gonna happen. Then if it doesn't happen, yeah you definitely can't do that.
But there's so much I want to do. It's hard to narrow in, especially with the resources I have now. Like to record one song, get it mixed and mastered is like a fucking feat.
Yeah.
So to think, okay, now we have to sit down for a month's time and record all these songs and then mix it and then master it and promote it. And And then at that point, I'm like, I don't even want to like make songs that sound like this anymore because I made this beat yesterday that's like so much cooler. You know what I mean? And then I'll
Right.
just like scrap a whole. So at this point, it's like the incubation stage. Like I have all these different, like you said, the songs I have out now, kind of like are just trying to do different things from each other.
They're all very different
So, yeah,
from each
so I'm not
other.
really sure like where it's gonna land. So I don't want to like put all my eggs in a basket. So
For sure. Do you feel like you're still like growing as an artist and kind of figuring out
Yeah.
like what your style is and
For
kind
sure.
of what you're, I feel like there's a progression. Like I listen to all of them and I'm like, In Circles is definitely like up here. Like it's
Yeah.
so good.
Thanks.
So
Yeah, I definitely see that too. I mean, like, I see the escalation, so it's just like I've internalized that bar that I'm setting, so I'm trying to not drop the ball with each
Gotcha.
single. So that's why I'm like, if I were trying to like rush an album, because a couple people told me I should make one.
which you should never do.
Yeah,
Don't let
exactly.
anyone peer pressure you into it.
Absolutely,
I'm just asking you about an album.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, so when you're performing live,
Yeah.
do you perform songs that you haven't released to kind of get a feel for them? Like, how does that process work? Do you just play your singles?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I actually didn't even really occur to me that I could do that, like do unreleased songs. I was like, I guess it is a song I wrote.
It is
And
all
like,
yours.
I know how to play it, so like it's better than trying to learn someone else's. But no, I haven't yet to do that. We do have a couple. Me and my drummer. Shout out to Sean Langer.
Hi, Sean.
Langer with 2 R's. I'll have him on here because it's my podcast, obviously.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Have him on as a guest.
Yeah. So next week we're having Sean Langer.
Can't wait, Sean.
Yeah, he's gonna kill it. But
I'm
he's
going to hang out in the corner.
yeah, he's a really talented guy. He's like a human jukebox. You give him an acoustic guitar, he knows any song you throw out, and
Ooh, that could be fun.
he's a fun guy. And he picked up the drums for me. I came to him and off Instagram and was just like, "Hey, I know you do a lot of live shows. Like, how do I make this work?" And he was like, "Let me drum for you." I end up using his amp. Like, he brings his PA if we need it. Like, he's my rock. Like, if he missed a show, I'd be like, I ain't playing. Like, I don't know.
Like, I
He
have
has
nothing.
everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really couldn't do it without him. And so we do a couple of the singles, and then we do a couple covers, and we try and go back and forth. It's like
Very cool.
just getting a call.
It's all good.
But yeah, so we try and just switch it up, and like, you might know this one, you definitely don't know this one, but you might know this one. Just like go back and forth to like keep it interesting. We did Bad Habit at the last show.
Ooh.
And that went over well, even though I butchered it. Just like, I'm terrible with the live shows because I'm not used to being the source of the music in the room.
Right.
So like I open my eyes and I see other people looking at me, and I kind of start having the good time with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I miss the chord change, or like that was when I was supposed to start singing.
Yeah.
But so I literally have my eyes closed like damn near the whole time, just so I can like, I'm like, all right, and verse 2, Like,
So don't be alarmed if you go to Stevie's show and his eyes are closed. He's focusing on the
is
show
it
for
Stevie
you.
Flowers or Stevie Wonder? I don't know, but yeah. It's it's something I'm working on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be an adjustment from like going from like recording your music and writing
Yeah.
to like them performing live in front of people. Like that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's definitely made me a better musician though overall to understand. You understand more like how a song works because you're doing the transitions, and then like you just start to understand like what gets people excited about a song, and how to keep it interesting when you don't have a lot of instruments to go around. And yeah, it's definitely made me understand like entertainment as a whole more,
right.
to be like thrown into it.
And live music is such an experience.
Yeah.
And so like I can see where you'd be like, yeah, like I'm just like vibing with the crowd and like, you forget the chord. Like that'd be so easy to do.
It happens.
I don't know
every
music. I'm just
time.
assuming.
No, it definitely does, especially when like I'm not the best player, not the best singer, and to like think about them both, and then also get like social anxiety takes over or whatever else takes over. Yeah, just try to make it work, and
Yeah, it's like a work in progress. I think it's interesting that that's like the last thing I did. That's a very new phenomenon with the internet. Like these younger musicians, myself included, who don't know how to do a live show,
Yeah.
but they can make great songs on their laptop and blow up on TikTok because of it. And then they do their first live show at like Lollapalooza. You know what I mean? Because they got a record deal off TikTok. That'd be crazy.
Oh my God. Like the pressure of that,
Yeah.
like that gives me anxiety just thinking about that.
I think back to Jake, JVKE. He's a couple songs that like he's a big TikToker.
I feel like I probably do.
You definitely know like the sound of them.
I like the TikTok, so probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's big on there. Like he was one of the first ones in the music space to like really like hit the Charlie D'Amelio type stride.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if it was like on YouTube or a TikTok video or whatnot, but talking about how his first show, he went out. It wasn't like a super big venue, but it was definitely full of people, and they like knew the words to the whole song. Like to have a crowd of like a couple hundred people know your lyrics in your first show, like obviously he it's like the struggle was in a different way. Like he did all the struggle on the online, and then it was just like the live show was primed instead of like a bunch of open mics or like busking or you know what I mean, people who really just start from the live side first.
Right. In
Just
ways,
weird.
I feel like it might be nice because then, like, if you are nervous, like, at least you have the comfort of people knowing your music.
Yeah, they're more encouraging. of what
Right.
you're doing.
Or if, like, you do fuck up a little bit, like, they're singing with you.
They're still singing, yeah.
So it's not, it's not just like an open mic where you're just, all the focus is on you. Everybody's quiet. All eyes are on you.
Yeah, that's super fun.
I was going to ask you how your experiences are with them. Do you hit a lot of, like, music open mics?
No, not really. I honestly, I sang in public like 4 times now.
Okay.
One of them was an open mic
Okay.
at Dan Zuzo's bar.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Made the intro song.
Yeah,
Love
that's
Ty.
right. That's right. I love Ty. He's a sweetheart. Shout out to Ty. But but yeah, so it was just like one of their monthly open mics I showed up with. Sean, actually, that I was shouting out. He was there too.
Sean, who'll be on next week.
That'd be great. But yeah, so it was more of just us like kicking back. Like it was a low key night. So it was almost not even like a show. And then I did a show there. I did one at the government center.
Oh,
And
very cool.
That was my first one. That went really well.
Very, very cool.
And what was the most recent one was at Radioactive Events Center.
Okay.
It's up in Kittanning. It's like a little ways away, but
Okay.
really cool space. Like they just have it kind of all graffiti. It's supposed to be like this hazard zone kind of theme, but like the stage is nice and tall, and they have good PA and whatnot. So it was cool to like good lights too. So it was like a proper show.
Like like definitely
Yeah,
more of like a show
Proper-
atmosphere.
yeah, proper like pseudo rock star situation.
Did you wear like your fur coat to that one? Like was that
No,
like
I
your
actually wore
shining
this
moment?
sweater.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I like it. Keep it very casual.
Yeah, I was actually gonna go crazy, but the weather was kind of cold, and I can't play when my hands are cold. So I was like, I'd rather be dripping in sweat than like freeze up.
Yeah, I feel like that would
So I
definitely be better.
Overdressed.
You could do fingerless gloves. That could be a look.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're like, no.
if someone was looking, yeah, it would be a look.
All right. So I hear that you have some damn it moments to share, or one really
Yeah,
good damn it
not
moment.
plural.
Okay.
Not plural.
Not plural. Sorry.
Yeah, I might.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the damn it moment.
So, I was. It was at work. I'm gonna set the scene.
Okay.
I was at work.
Okay.
Let's say 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Say it was a Wednesday. Probably
Wednesday,
wasn't.
2
Probably
weeks
wasn't
ago.
a Wednesday, but it might be. And
We're there.
yep, I was in the bathroom, like any human being would be.
Okay. We're in the bathroom.
yeah.
Setting the scene.
Yes. Sitting on the toilet, wasting time, avoiding
Okay.
my work.
We're there with you.
Yes. I wish you weren't. and then I got up, as one human does, and I was on my phone. That's what was killing my time. I had some AirPods in, as an AirPod user has
okay,
in
yep.
their ears. and flushed the toilet as a human does,
Okay, we're still with you.
respectfully.
We
And
all
then-
relate.
yes, and then put the AirPods in the case and went to go put it in my left pocket. And as it did, I don't really know what happened. It kind of blur. It was kind of a blur, but it hit the edge. It hit the edge of my pocket or something to that effect, and it's basically owned by the Carnegie Municipal Water
No.
Authority. At this point, it was like within a second and a half, they were gone. It was halfway through the flush, right?
Yeah.
So it was like that point where there's no water at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they just cracked off the porcelain and then just shot through like a fucking conveyor belt. And it happened so quick. And I was just like, I wish somebody would have filmed. I wish it was so picturesque. And then I was just like, that's it. Okay. I was like, and I don't have any AirPods anymore. Like, that's okay. I just had to accept the new reality. And then I just went back to my desk and was just laughing hysterically because I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
And what else do you do at that point? Like they're gone
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
never to return.
Yeah. I was like, I'll buy a new pair next time I get paid. It'll probably be longer than that. But sorry.
So R.I.P. to your AirPods.
Yeah, it's okay. We didn't need them.
I do have a similar story to this. So we were at this like outside like vintage sale. So it was like
As you should
kind
be.
of right as one is. And it was in like this like warehouse. So like it was very old, like just very not updated,
Moldy.
very
That's
moldy.
the word she's looking for.
Yeah, very gross. I questioned why I was there.
Yeah.
It was one of these places my mom drugged me to. She's like, we're going to find all these things. They had nothing. So not amused. I go to the bathroom. I always keep my phone in my back pocket. I don't know why I do this. I should have learned my lesson many other times, but this time particular, phone in the back pocket.
Also memory.
Yep.
It'll get to you.
Yep. Pulled my pants off. Phone.
As a human does.
As a human does. Phone was still in my back pocket.
Okay.
Fell into the toilet. So then you have a
Oh, wait. Okay. I'm sorry.
So like also like an older toilet, so like doesn't fully flush, like
Okay,
just
just
kind
like
of
weaker.
Yes, like kind of gross. Like
Just
you
kind of
could
like a sad,
tell-
like, just a sad draining. Not really a flush. Just kind of empty.
just like kind of pulls things away,
Yeah.
but like not really.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those moments. Like there's definitely still toilet paper from the person before vibe.
Okay.
Phone in the toilet.
Basically a porta potty.
Yeah. Just very low grade. I had a game
Yeah.
time decision to make. Do I stick my hand in or do I just let it go?
You definitely stick your hand.
I did stick my
Yeah.
hand in.
No judgment there. I stuck my hand in on the AirPod. I left that key.
Did you
detail
go
out.
for it or were you like,
I instantly went for it. I like punched the bottom of the toilet. I grabbed it, and it didn't. No dice. Like here I am.
I feel like you have to at least try.
I mean, there was no
Right?
second. There was no thought about it.
You just go for it.
Yeah, I was like, they fell. I'm gonna grab them.
So I didn't have
And
that.
here I am, like fist deep in the toilet.
It would have been kind of funny if your fists would have gotten. I mean, I feel like that would have been like a moment where like if it would have gotten stuck.
Flush?
Yeah.
What would have got stuck on? It's
I-
not like a
I
little
mean-
door.
I mean, I feel
But
like
sometimes
it could
I do
happen,
think
right?
there is a door.
There might be.
Alice in Wonder shit.
I feel like all things are possible here.
Yes.
So I see. My thing was I stared at it for like a minute, and I'm like, "Do I do this? Do I
Now
not
it's
do
broken.
This? I
'cause
know.
you-
Well, it's gone anyway. Like I knew it was done for.
Oh, okay.
So I did retrieve it. All that there was for me to wash my hands with was Irish Spring bar soap. Just
Minty.
yeah, nothing about the story was really great for me. I was without a phone for like 2 days.
That's not too bad.
It was tragic. It was so tragic.
What generation was that? I'm curious since it didn't last in the water.
I think it was like,
An X or something.
I remember
Right
it was
before they
yellow.
did
So it was one of like the ones that like had like the like
That's early then.
color. Or no, it was lime green. I'm kidding. It was lime green.
I don't know.
So I don't know. Whatever iPhone that was.
Whenever they do the crazy colors, I just think back to the 5C. Do you remember that? It was like They did the 5S for the. I think they did the S for the first time or
Yes.
something. Or they're like, we got to do a cheaper version too. They did the C, and they were like, it's kind of junky, but we got color.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
And like I'm a sucker for that. I'm like, okay. I feel like you have to pick the cell phone off of the color. I don't know.
That's you're on your own.
All
there.
right, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
I pick it for the color.
Yeah, I treat my phone like shit. You saw me throw my stuff across.
I
the room
did. You just single-handedly, like, each item out of your pocket just was thrown.
and threw it 20 yards across your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just if it didn't last, then they made a shitty phone. I'm out of a phone and it's still on me, but you know.
But it's still together in one piece. My thing is, like, I try to protect mine as much as possible.
Yeah.
That way, like, I can't possibly do something to it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with it. So like, I'm just like, if I'm without it, it's probably for the best.
It is nice
know?
to be without it.
Yeah, just like when there's no option. That's how I felt with the AirPods. I was like, let's see what life is like.
What is life like without AirPods?
I had a great workout the next day. I was like, oh, fuck, I don't have headphones or whatever. But then when I was just in this really awkward, sterile smelling room and it was just all these like weird old dudes like grunting, I was like, this is life. This is real life
This
now.
is real life.
Like no more Kendrick Lamar like trying to drown it all out. Like this is the real shit. So I was like focusing on my breath more and like I was there. Actually like helped. It was not sexy to say the least. But
Yeah,
it
like
was real.
You're present in that moment. Like there's a guy like right beside you, just like real gross, just like looking. Like I'm just
Yes.
picturing a guy like looking in the mirror. Like we all know who this guy is.
There's too many at the gym I go to.
And he's just using the whatever dumbbells, weights, whatever they are. I obviously
dumbbell weights.
use them all the time.
Yeah.
And just like looking in the mirror, making like noises.
There's a few, yeah.
I'm sure that was a precious moment to share with them.
They had headphones on. They weren't there with me. I was the only one there.
You were alone in that
Yeah,
experience.
everyone was gone. Besides like the 6-year-old dudes who like don't know how that headphones even exist.
Ooh, yeah.
God bless them.
Seriously.
Ignorance is bliss.
Seriously.
They didn't flush their AirPods down the toilet.
They did not. Or maybe they did, and that's why they didn't have them. Probably not.
Nah.
You're right. Probably not.
If they have a pair, they're like in the drawer. They're waiting for their grandkid to come and set it up for them.
Right. I feel like too, like once you do AirPods, like you can't go back to like using like.
I have a pair. I'm not gonna
Did you
use them.
attempt it, or you're like,
No.
no?
I only pull them out for the TikTok duets. It's the only function they have in my life.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I let my mom use them last. I don't know. She might have jacked them from me, to be honest.
My mom will like try to like talk to me on the phone with her AirPods in, and every time she does it, she's like, "What? I can't hear you. What? Can you hear me?" And I'm like, "Why? Why do we keep doing this?"
I don't think the sound quality is too bad.
No, I just for some reason like she can't hear me, or like I can't hear her.
Probably
I'm
just
like,
didn't turn it up.
right. I'm like, where did you go for like 2 minutes?
That's funny.
It's usually like when I'm telling a story, she just conveniently like disappears.
Yeah.
She's like,
That's
"What?
funny.
I didn't hear that." You know what? I figured it out. She's doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like the microphones. I mean, obviously this is like the microphone, not the headphone side, but they're like on the outside on the older ones. I don't know about like the new ones,
Oh.
but like the microphone's technically on like the outer side. So when you use them, it doesn't even sound that good.
I did not know that that was a thing.
It's more like a good, yeah. Like if somebody's like walking through the street, you can hear like people next to them more than them
Yeah.
because it's like outward.
I guess that makes sense is why like you would hear like outside noise. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
they're
you
just
would.
not like canceling on the microphone.
Which,
That's the old one though.
okay.
Don't
Old
come
one,
for me,
guys.
Apple.
Not
Yeah.
the new one. Well, thank you so much for being on the
For sure.
podcast. Do you want to shout out your handles? Any
That
shows
was it?
coming up? Yeah.
How long have I been here?
Like almost like 40, 45 minutes. I accidentally turned the timer off when I was like very expressive with my hands.
Yeah.
But we're in that
To
ballpark.
Jameson, yeah.
Yeah.
The one shot.
It's this very well organized thing I have running here.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Shout outs. I'm gonna shout out my own self, and then I'm gonna shout out some people from my team
Hell
that
yeah.
couldn't do it without.
Do it.
You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Stevie Picks Flowers. My name is Stevie Flowers on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud if you're into that sort of thing. Should have a new song coming here soon. It's definitely going to be the best one. Like I said, only better from here. We got shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Yovella Mori. He's a legendary engineer here in Pittsburgh. Couldn't do it without him. He holds my entire sound down nowadays. Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend, Jules. For holding me down. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Dylan, Martin, and Kyle, my best friends. Hold me down. I mean, that's all I need.
You got to have good people behind you.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, it makes the dream work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It was awesome. Very fun. Thank you for doing a shot with me.
Yes.
Love it.
I'm glad it didn't taste like shit.
It didn't. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I was a little concerned because you were like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I just didn't want to have like a shitty face.
That's understandable. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I'll see you guys next week.